welcome to the Now Debate. This is the first Now Debate we have done in quite some time. I'm Jared Walters with my good friend, Mr. Richard Oliver. And how are you, Rich?
I am, I'm going to say battered. I'm going to throw it out there and say battered. That's the best description I got in a minute. So
it's been a hell of a year, isn't it? I suppose first there's a couple of things that we're going to talk about today, but I think the first thing to address is why we have not uploaded a video on the channel since around August, September time. And that basically is the fact that there's a couple of reasons, really. A, there's been a lot of personal things going on, and we just simply haven't been able to give our work the attention that it's needed. Secondly, not in regards to videos, we've still been doing cases. The second thing is we're actually now going through our footage, going through our archives, and starting to get an idea of the messages that we have received over the course of the last 5 years, and see if we can put things together that give a constructive view on what we're being told or the information that we're gathering. So we can draw upon that information then and present it to you guys in a much more meaningful way than we have been doing. The third reason is that we are on my part, and Richard has been sort of co-producing it as well, but this is my part at the moment because of the editing, is we are still working on Brothers Between Worlds. The first draft was finished about a month ago, and it basically we showed it to a test audience, and the consensus was that it needed much more of a kick to it and much more sort of evidence of the paranormal in there, which is why we're kind of like going back through our archive. So Rich, if you want to actually have a little chime in on that, and if there's anything you want to add about what's been happening to us over the last couple of months.
Right, did a case about 7 years ago. I was called to a case through something called a sleep bot, basically. A young lady had recorded voices in her home. So she'd give us a call because there's only her and her children, and there was male voices. Went to this case, did an investigation there. Basically, this case had about, say, 7 layers of different aspects of the paranormal going on.
Yeah.
From abduction, witchcraft, curses, hauntings, you name it. This case had it. I took the team I had before, which was called Paranormal Wales.
It actually had ties to Nazi Germany as well, which was quite.
Yeah, it had links to
historical ties to Nazi Germany. It had all
Satanism.
It had all these different sort of concoctions of things that were going on there and were ongoing for quite some time. But yeah, anyway, back to the beginning of the story. I'm jumping ahead.
Basically, we sort of took it on board. We tried everything we could to deal with each aspect of this case, because basically the house was a drug and prostitute house, and a young girl was killed there. There was links, like Jazz just said, to the high SS officers in from World War II. There was links to Satanism, witchcraft, abduction. And I know as crazy as that sounds, because I've been talking about this case. We were discussing this the other night. I've been talking about the case, and when I talk about this case, I actually hear myself, and I actually know in my heart and my head that it sounds insane.
Yeah.
And it's because basically I said this, I was talking last night because I was doing my own circle, and I said, if I knocked the doors in the street I lived, and there's about 250 houses, and I just asked them a simple question: which is basically, have you ever seen anything float, right, spiritually, not like in water, just they or
levitate then.
Yeah, levitate. Sorry, yeah. You probably get maybe 1, 2 if you're lucky to say, yeah, once upon a time I did. So it's like that with this case. It's like the rest of the people would just look at you like that, and they would give you the old side eye, like, okay, not that aboard.
I think it's meant to be one of those stories, isn't it? That's kind of not.
This whole case, there was a big link to a certain type of magic, which affected us all. And I didn't believe in it. I just thought it was words on paper. I don't think it had any power over me and all the things I've seen. That case, I wouldn't say naive, but I didn't really, because it was something I never really dealt with on that sort of scale. I really did take it for granted that the power of this stuff and I mean, I spoke to an investigator on the weekend it was the last case he ever did because of what happened to him. Basically, he had about 6 or 7 different sets of 3 scrams on him. We saw an apparition in a mirror holding a girl. We saw an apparition of this guy that's like tried to take over one of my investigators. We lost Paranormal Wales because of that case. Because it was just after that everything went, tits up. And ourselves, Paranormal Now, we've had our asses handed to us over this case.
What we're finding is that there are some cases that we have worked on that can have a profound and lasting effect. So I think it's definitely something that I think though is also a chain. It was the straw that brought the camel's back because there was so many other things going on. We were doing the Now Investigation live streams, which we will be revisiting at some point. We've actually taken them off the channel at the moment because I have found some information in there which is personal to different people, and I feel that those messages need to be given or at least transcribed before they are available freely on YouTube again. And I think it's only just a matter of respect, but the amount of the sort of rude awakening that we've had over the last 5 years into the paranormal, where I know obviously you have been doing it a lot longer than the last 5 years, but I think you can kind of agree that the intensity over the course of the last 5 years has definitely ramped up some. Would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean the cases we're dealing with at the moment, I mean, they're just getting. I mean, the thing is, I was talking about this to a mate, and he said, "How come?" He said, "You see all these people running around these castles and prisons, and they're getting all these flashing lights going and everything else, right?"
Yeah.
He said, "How come they don't get affected like you guys do?" Then I said, "Because we do house cases," and I said, "Nobody really, really, really wants to do house cases. One, they're a ball ache, right? And you got to deal with strangers and people, and you really got to give a shit, right? Yeah. And the other one is, it's just they're so unpredictable, and there's a lot of work involved, and
not just that, it's a safety thing. We've actually gone to house cases, and we found out there's actually criminal investigations going on. That's it's a safety thing as well, where you don't know who's calling you out. You're basically living on your gut instinct. 9 times. We've probably had out of all the cases we've probably had maybe 2, maybe 3 people that we've gone, we're not going there again.
Yeah.
It is a matter of personal safety for us not to go there again. And it's it's the way in which that we do it, I suppose, in the sense of not many other sort of groups will actually go into these environments and actually figure out what's going on and why this activity is happening the way that it is. And 9 times out of 10, when you go into these places, like we've done Margam Castle, for example, and you've done it twice now, and I would probably say that any of these locations that we've done, I would say that there's house cases that we have done which would rival them which would throw them out of the water. I think a lot of these places have been done so much to death that I actually think you're actually making things worse by doing things like that, personally.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I've said this a few times. There's a lot of people in the world that just see the world as black and white. Yeah. And we are really privileged in the things we've seen, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, we probably know more as a group about the paranormal than the best scientists in the world know about the sea. Because we've investigated it, we've been in the field, we've learnt so much. But every single time we do it, we learn something new. And it's been an incredible spiritual awakening journey, but the cost has been, I don't know if we paid too high a cost.
This is one of the reasons why I've stopped doing the videos, and we've literally now I've come back to going through all the evidence, because then we can have an idea of what the different things that we've captured. How many times have we spoke to spirits that need to be moved on, for example? What are they telling us? How many times we brought people's loved ones through using the different devices? What are they telling us? How many times are these different experiences happening? What are they telling us? And I think it's a case of now we're in a point where we need to sort of put all this information together, and we need to come at it and sort of say, right, because we've only been looking at snippets of it, as we've been doing it, we've been transcribing, we're trying to, but there's obviously different things that we've learned. Yeah, I think that is definitely something that, we are going to look towards maybe 2019, keep everything going up until then. I think up for the minute, it'll just be the Now Debates being uploaded on the channel. Maybe if we can meet sort of once a week and just have a little chat, Rich, and see what information we can put out there.
Yeah. I'm going to start to do. I've been saying it, but I am going to start to do vlogs on it, because there's a lot I need to get off my chest.
I think that would help other people as well.
Well, I mean, the weirdest thing is the journey of the paranormal we've had has seemed to be a lot of the things that are real in the world that keep coming up through the paranormal, and the effect they have on our lives daily.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important subject we need to broach. We really should, talk about that, because it affects us all. And we've had David Attenborough on the telly saying we're past the tipping point. I mean, everything that's going on in the world right now is just carnage. I mean, what's going on in France, Brexit, everything else that's going on. I mean, you wanted to talk about the story about something about the tracking you in Merthyr,
right? Well,
which is on our doorstep.
I'm going to bring that into, we're putting that into our awareness now. Okay, so basically, this is a article from Wales Online. Now, we actually went to see David Icke, didn't we, a couple of weeks back?
Yeah, we did.
Cardiff,
yeah.
And that was quite. This is something that came up in that talk. And what was your thoughts on David Icke?
I got to be honest. The information he gave and the way he put some of his stuff was incredible. And everybody have asked me that that I spoke to. I said I went to see David Icke, and they went, "Oh, that's the nutter guy," That's the one. That's the lizard man in there. That's the one. I think it's Jesus, or he's a nutter and he's crazy. And I was like, well, no, you've got to understand the point he's trying to make and the reference. If we've never seen him, we can't just make a judgment like I thought someone like that. That's what he's been made to be.
Yes.
Through other sources, other media sources, they made him to be a nutter. But he was brilliant, superb. Some of the evidence he had was incredible, amazing, like world changing. If we really listen to it and you check this stuff out yourself, it changed the world. If he could speak to the world, it'd change it. But it wasn't really any solutions. It was about basically waking up spiritually. Now, from my own point of view, that is a big thing. That's not just something you just go, oh, I'm just going to wake up. I'm just going to set like a spiritual alarm clock. I'm just going to wake up. It doesn't work like that. It's a lot of aspects that, you can change the way you view the world. And I did this on the weekend, funny thing, I was helping someone who was involved in that case that we talked about at the beginning of this. And I just said, you just got to forgive. It's just all about forgiveness. And we forgive anyone that's caused us pain, or understand them, really understand where they're coming from, whether they were suffered in their lives or they just arseholes. If we understand that, it takes the pain off us. It just takes the hurt off us, because we're the only ones that are getting hurt. They're not.
You said that to me yesterday when I was angry with someone, and you were like, "Well, it's not affecting them; it's affecting you." I'm like, "I know, but I just can't. It doesn't affect me that often. It's just, I think it was a manifestation of the same sort of thing. It's like, okay, this is the situation that I'm in because of the choices that we've made going on this journey. But yeah, it is true. It is true. You have to sort of, look at who's doing this because they want to cause harm, and a lot of people that are running our world, unfortunately, are doing your bloody Rothschilds and Soroses and people like that, are doing it because they want to cause harm. They don't give an absolute crap about even Theresa May. You even got to look at that woman's record. What she did with burying historic child sex abuse. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's insane. The fact that we made her Prime Minister. The fact that we made her Prime Minister.
Well, we didn't make her Prime Minister, dude. It was through a series of events that put her in.
Well, that's what I mean. The fact that we just accepted that woman as our leader of our country is insane. She spent 4 years looking into the paedophile scandal. It spent millions of pounds. No one was brought into question. I mean, they were talking about this guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head because I'm not really interested in his name because he means nothing to me. But apparently they were comparing him to Brian Blessed, and he was quoting stuff in the Parliament about Brexit, and there was other MPs in Parliament going, "Oh, he's behind you," because it sounded like this is Brexit now. This is the thing that could genuinely and potentially destroy the UK, right? It could leave us in a torrent of shit, right? That is the biggest smokescreen the government have ever fucking orchestrated. And they're going, "Oh, he's behind you." Because he sounds like fucking Brian Blessed come on the radio. And Brian Blessed was like, "Yeah, he's just standing for me, Brian Blessed in his big voice. Like, he's just standing for me, I love him. Oh, giving it all a big Billy Big Bollocks with his voice." And I was thinking, have I been beamed into fucking Numptyville or something? Are these people, is anybody else listening to this? Does anybody else think that, honestly, I felt like so disconnected to the world I live in. Because I was thinking, this is, about pantoing, it's fucking Brexit. They were going to cause TTIP. They're going to frack everything. They're going to, like, Monsanto are fucking going to take over the world. Brussels are trying to inshaft us. And you've got Theresa May, where she come from. I honestly, I'm sorry I'd rant then, but it's just, it baffles me. I'm baffled.
I think we should just do it.
I see dead people. I'm fucking freaked out. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Honestly. I talk to friggin' ETs, Jack. We talk to ETs, but and I listen to BBC Radio 2, and I shit myself. I just never seen anything like it, but I honestly, I feel like I'm living in. It is like living in a panto. You don't know what's going.
Please.
I don't know, but I don't know. I honestly, I can't explain it. That made me feel like I wanted to, I don't know, stick fucking 16,000 fucking sticks of dynamite under my golf and blow myself into fucking space, but. And hopefully somebody could just hit a ride on a comet. Leave. I can't. Honestly, I've never seen anything in my life. And we just carry on living our lives like. You've got the French now with all these yellow jackets now. In Russia, they're standing outside their version of Parliament, chucking MPs in fucking bins and pushing the lid on them and chucking banana skins at them. They're chucking them in bins because they say you're giving us rubbish, we give you rubbish. In France, they got all these yellow jackets on. They're going to sack the government out there now. This carries on. They got the fucking police on their side. And we're just all standing around the UK going, oh, Brexit, it's awful. Oh, we should vote it in. It's fucking, come on. Come on, people. Come on. No. You got people sticking fucking chemicals in the ground, trying to force gas out of the ground, just making water flammable. Water's supposed to put out fire. Honestly, I feel like I've never seen anything like it. And people think I'm fucking nuts. I don't know. I honestly, but I gotta be honest. Right now, the world is mental. It's if ETs don't come down and start twatting people, right? There's something wrong. If Jesus, I swear to Christ, if Jesus turns up in fucking robes, right, and like a basket of fruit, I'm gonna twat him myself because this planet needs to shake up. Like it needs to be like it. Honestly, there's something wrong, but it's I can't understand it. I'm really struggling. I watch things and I see the world, right? There is wonder in this world, in the tiniest things, right? Everything to me has a wonder about it. From the way, like, our cultures and religions and science and quantum physics and space explanations, the oceans, the diversity on this planet, the mind. There's so many things in this world that fascinate me, and that potentially we can spend all time researching and discovering, and we're just crapping on everything. We're just polluting and we're just adding to the problem. And there's a part of me that genuinely over the last couple of weeks has thought to myself, right, we had this conversation the other night, John, it was a bit neg, right? And when I said, maybe, and this is going to sound shit, and I'm sorry if anybody's offended, but I'm not sorry if anybody's offended, I couldn't get rat's ass, to be honest with you. There's a part of me that thinks that maybe the government thinks that we are a burden on this world, and there's too many of us, right? And that's why there's poisons, and that's why our food is shit, and that's why there's cancers and other bullshit, right? And yeah, they're not helping the fucking Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and anybody else in the world.
I'm not being funny, but it's
no, but listen.
Right, okay.
I'm just going to say this, right? And maybe that's how they see us, right? Because every day I see people chucking shit round, right? Every day I see us just blindly going through life, ignoring everything because it doesn't because we feel like it doesn't directly affect us. Mental health is escalated by nearly 50% in the last 2 years, but right, they got police driving people around in the back of their police cars with mental health because there's nowhere to put them. They're sitting in the back of police cars because the police have had to go and deal with it, right? And more and more people are suffering with mental health because about this woman, about right, my essential bills. Let's just cover this subject because I got to get it off my chest while I'm there. Essential bills, right? I'm paying all the things I pay out leave me with just enough to exist. No, I can't live. I'm just existing. I have enough money. I smoke, which I've had to cut down on because I can't afford it. I just got enough to buy food and maybe, if I'm lucky, get back and forth to work, right? And I work 5 days a week. I do 9-hour shifts, and I still can't afford to live. Everything has gone up except our wages, and we just continue to take it. My mother, when I was 17 years of age, right? I'm 42, and my mother was on the same money that I am on right now. And my mother's mortgage was not even a quarter of the rent I pay, right? Her car tax wasn't a quarter. Things, I remember when cigarettes were like 75 pence, right? They're nearly £10 a packet. And my mother's wage, it's like, what is it, 20, so let me think of this now, 23 years ago was exactly the same as the wage I was on now, because she was a manager. It's insane. You just cannot make it up. If aliens turned up right now, right, and we told them everything that's going on in the world about religion, about money, about who's running the show, right, about how we treat each other, the way we treat the fucking rock we live on, right, they would just, you can't imagine what would go through their heads and how they would perceive us. We like animals. They just go about, they have instincts. And yes, they have thought, they are sentient beings. But they just live, they love, and they reproduce, and they just keep that cycle going. Us, I honestly don't understand. I'm starting to wonder what God was thinking. I am. These people are living on the streets as families who are starving. This is the civilized fucking world, man. We have technologies, like we have everything at our disposal, like the minds that are in this world, and we can't come up with a better system than this shit. And people are shooting each other over it. Soldiers are training to kill people for fucking what? You can have all these people that commit atrocities. They kill people for profit. Yeah. They use cancer as a monopoly. But yeah, if I like,
well, look
I don't know.
Look at the cases that was brought up in.
If I smoke cannabis, I'm a fucking criminal. I'm a criminal. If I smoke a fucking plant, I don't know. You can't make it up,
no. But. And the epitome of this, right, was last week. The trial. Well, anyone can look this up. Do not look at the fucking BBC, though. Please, if anyone wants to look this up, do your own. Actually, no. I take that back. Please do look at the BBC, but then look at people like Ian R. Crane, for example, who was there and actually reporting on this from ringside. Then basically, we've just had a gentleman sent down. He's having to spend a year in prison. Him and his wife have had their lives torn apart for the last 3 years because they were curing cancer with a chemical called GCMAF, which is something which is naturally producing, and because of all the toxins and shit our body's not producing enough of, or at least that's my understanding of it. Don't quote me on that, because my understanding of the sort of the medical sort of side of it admittedly, is a bit shaky, but I've seen enough to know. I've seen enough to know that there is something to this, because I've seen people or heard of people who've gone through this firsthand. But you've had a guy that, even the judge turned around and said, that the medicine that you were using is unlicensed, but it's not under question, because you've basically proven this medicine works. 1 in 4 people die of cancer. Every 4 minutes in the UK, 1 person dies of cancer. 1 in 2 people, or 1 in 3 at the moment, they reckon by 2025 it'll be 1 in 2 people will have cancer at some point in their lifetime. And because of the 1939 Cancer Act, you basically can't research or offer medicine that's not basically chemo or radiotherapy. Now, how many people know someone, right, or have had direct experience with cancer? That courtroom should have had millions of people around it.
Yeah.
It should have. Because the judge actually said the medicine works. But because the bloody government won't license it, the guy's got to go to fucking jail. He's gone to jail for saving lives.
Yes. You can't make it up, but...
And it's absolutely...
And we do fuck all about it. We do nothing. But...
In all fairness, not enough of us do. You look at the anti-fracking community, for example. They have been a shining example of the opposition in this country. And
they're angels.
You've got people like Francis Egan from Quadrilla, and you could look at news reports going back. How long has Preston? 18 to 2 years. Where they're saying, we won't be triggering earthquakes, we won't, all this is all scaremongering, we've got gold standard regulations, and within 3 days of fracking, they haven't even warmed the pumps up properly yet, and it's already triggering seismic fucking events. Fracking's meant to cause earthquakes, man, that's what it's designed to. What? And they want it now, so that they don't have to stop until it gets 4 on the Richter scale.
It's not like if this was a conspiracy, right? Then fair enough, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Or it's the truth. It's actually happening. It's not made up. This hasn't happened in the past, and we're going, we know a good story. They'll go with that and make it sound like they come. It's happening on your doorstep.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can't. I don't know. I don't know. It's all getting a bit insane
come back
at
to
the moment.
this article, right? Wales Online. So it's our local news, right? For Wales, right? A small country, basically inconsequential. 3 million people population, right? Bearing in mind, you're looking at about 68 to 71 million in the UK at the moment, right? A Welsh council is using technology to monitor who is in its town centre at any one time, where they go whilst they are there. Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council is using a system called GeoSense to carry out this monitoring. It picks up someone's mobile phone media access control address as they enter the town centre. It also measures how many people are return visitors, how many are visiting for the first time. It provides a breakdown by week, peak times, how long people stay in the town centre, and where they go while they're there. It also allows the council to compare footfall in specific dates. So basically, right, I'm not going to read any more of that article. I'll put the link in the description below this video. This council is accessing your mobile phone and tracking your movements when you're in their area. Now, bearing in mind...
Well, it is Merthyr. They need... being Merthyr, the council need any sort of fucking upper hand to just get people into that town. And people are probably going to turn up to see if their name comes up on some sort of computer screen. And then, because, you know what I mean? They've not done anything to improve things in Merthyr.
No.
They've not put jobs out there. They've not put, stability into that town. There's more people, I think, on job seekers in Merthyr than any other county in Wales. So I mean, it must be important. They must have spent a lot of money on that to
But the point is, though, Rich,
to know that the money they're giving out in gyros is coming back to the fucking shops in Merthyr. Because what other purpose would that have? What other purpose? Is that going to be used against you? So, like you say, you phone your boss and you go, "Oh, I've got the shits. I can't come into work today," and then you go Merthyr shopping. You end up in Burton buying a nice shirt as well.
Yeah, but it's not where it is now. It's where it's going. Because once you access...
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Are they going to use that information against you? Are they going to phone your boss and say, "Oh, Terry, said he had the shits and he was in Burton's buying a shirt because he went out on Friday."
They're not going to use it against you in that type of way. But what they could do is they could use it, they could use it in other ways. For example, they could listen in to what you're saying. Because essentially, if you can track that amount of information, it's not hard to actually get into someone's system. It is. A member of my family is extremely good at hacking. All he needs is an IP address. People haven't got the security on their phones that they could tap into it, could download their photos, they could find exactly what they've been doing, where they've been, what they've been saying. We've actually...
I don't understand when like a place like Merthyr needs so much of an economy boost, and could do with some like why the council are being allowed to spend money on. So I can't imagine that was cheap.
No,
I can't imagine that was a cheap gadget by any stretch of the imagination to sift through all that information and do like basically a doorman with a clicker. I don't know. That just sounds insane. It's insanity.
Yeah, it's the fact as well that they are literally using your mobile phone without your permission. Which, and they say this is you talk to people about this, they say, "Oh, it's wild conspiracy theory." It's on the fucking news.
I know. No, them same letters on Paranormal now talking about they tracking your phones and we moved there. It's like, I'm sure, we're talking about it because it was on the news. It's not just making it. We didn't just we done a Ouija board. We did, and somebody from Merthyr said, "Oh, they watch them. They clock in your phone." No, fucking honestly, that's what people say.
Yeah.
I you know what? Back in the day when I started doing this, people would be like, "Oh, have you seen Elvis?" Right?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I knew that one." And then you'd be like, "Oh, have we seen Famous then? Oh, have we seen it?" Nowadays, genuinely people are like, "Oh, what have they said about the world?" Honestly, the amount of people that say that to me, is the world going to be alright then? Have they said anything about that then? What have they said about this and that? What have they said? People are genuinely coming to me people are coming to me for because people are that shit scared of the world they live in, the world we live in, right? And it's like, I've been starting to think like this is going to sound pretty crazy now, right? But I've got to get it off my chest. I didn't have a say in being born, right? I didn't have a say. I had no say whatsoever in it, right? Nobody asked me how I feel about existing, but yet, being born, I have to conform to all these rules, right? Because that's the rules. Well, they're not my fucking rules. None of them are my rules. None of them. Nobody's come to me and said, "Oh, by the way, are you all right with that?" Because I'd be like, "No. Whose rights? How does the world have rights over me? And how does anyone else, because they got born with a fucking silver spoon up their ass, or they're some eating twat, or they're some fucking... How do they have rights over me, like?
Yeah, exactly.
Because of money. The only thing that has right over me like that, really, is money. Because of your power, because of how much money you have in your bank account. That says you can say what I fucking do and don't do. And I just...
Which is a lie anyway.
I'm really struggling to grasp that concept at the moment. And I'm 42. I've been alive 42 years. And in the last couple of years, I'm really starting to find that a difficult thing to cons. It's like, where do people... I don't understand how anyone can see that. It's like these religious people and that.
Rich, stop a sec.
Yeah.
Is anyone in the house now?
No, who's talking?
Someone just fucking spoke on it, and but.
Yeah, I heard him, but I heard him clear as day. Well,
we'll go back over that.
But there was someone speaking in.
I know. Probably my brother, but he's been doing a lot of that. Every time I ring my mother now, I can hear him in the background. He actually hear him in the background. Yeah, she manipulates the audio on my phone.
My house at the moment, but is fucking mental, but I don't want to sound neg. I don't want to put a neg on anything, right? Because I see beauty and wonder in this world. The potential of us is just something to behold, right? If we all come together, right? If we all come together and say we've got a fuck full of all this. Yeah, you heard it. I'll keep talking, so you just keep an eye on it. I see the potential in this world, right? And we could all come together. Imagine if all the women in this world, right, decided to come together and say we've had a fuckful. They change it tomorrow. Just the women, right? All the women, because there's no soldiers on earth that's going to go around shooting armies of women, but right? There's no police officers going to go wielding into them. Right, the government ain't gonna do nothing because they're just a bunch of fucking tweed-wearing twats, right? So, right. So, what are we doing? We really need. Honestly, we really need to come together and say we're not having it. We don't have to hurt anyone. We don't have to kill anyone. We don't have to fucking blow the place up or burn shops or fucking, loot or anything like that. All we have to do is come together and say enough is enough. This is no longer acceptable. We are not paying this much in tax. We are not paying this much in tax. This much for houses. We are not paying this much for fuel or for fucking electric or gas or for food. We're not paying all these taxes on this. We are not paying this much in tax. You're not. I mean, personally, I believe in God and I believe in a creator and everything, right? But if I'm wrong, right, and I'm going to throw this out there, if I'm wrong, I don't think nature's going to take any more of it. But nature itself, but nature finds a way. Like, I don't think nature's going to take any more of our shit. So we have to stand for nature. We have to start standing for the rock we live on. We have to start fighting for it. And we have to start making changes, otherwise we're doomed. And that's not fair on children. It's not fair, like. Because I want to be the person that the kids in the future look back at and say, fucking hell, they sacrificed for us. They put all these things in place for us. They were the people. I want to be part of that. I want to be part of the people that stood up and said, enough's enough. And we fucking sacrifice now so they don't have to. To them, it's normal. To them, the world they live in is perfectly perfect and normal, and it's healthy and bright, and there is a future. I want to be part of that. If I was in charge now, of my country, if I was the leader, I would be a leader that the world needs to see, and I would make that change, and I would honour everyone for doing it. I wouldn't just say, oh, yeah, nice one, well done. I would honour them. And there would be fucking statues. There would be monuments with people's names on, everybody that contributes to the future. Because the way the world is at the moment, we can't see anything past this. We can't. Everybody I talk to says, we can't change the world. Well, this is the way the world is. Do you mean? That's gone. That's got to go. That mentality is, we've had enough of it. the world's had enough of it. I'm sick of the shit that you're in, right? We need to change, like, we really do. Like, we got to stop being, I don't understand how anybody in power wouldn't just, they just take, and they're in the same fucking world we live in.
Yeah.
Where's he going to leave them? What, are they going to live underground like some fucking Minogue? What are they going to do? Like, they're all going to live underground with some fucking weird mole, right? And just what? What? Like, why? What? Are they nuts, or?
I was in university in 2002 studying media, right? And I remember we had a lecture, basically it was a lecture called Media and Power. I remember saying that a lot of the reality television that was coming, things like Big Brother and that sort of thing, was there to dumb people down, right? And my goodness, hasn't it worked? Because, you know, you look at back in, like, I grew up in the miners' strike in the 1980s. You know, my family have a history of fighting for, you know, their jobs, fighting for what they believed in, fighting for their communities. What we've seen over the course of the last 20 years is the systemic breakdown, not just of the community, not just of the family unit, but of basically human consciousness. You know, this thing, you know, how many times have I been trying to have a conversation? Your head is in bloody this thing. You know, it's you started on this about sort of really powerful magics, right? This thing has fucking lights on both sides, right? You look at it, it's got a black reflective surface, a fucking scrying mirror, but it is. And it's fucking programming you. It's programming in your mind. You know, if there's one way to drive people insane, it's basically social isolation and overstimulation. This thing does both. And all you basically do is go on fucking Facebook. This is why I don't use Facebook anymore. And, you know, this is the thing, is that people are becoming much more isolated from one another. We are becoming much more easier to manipulate because of these sort of different divides and the different things that are happening. You know, if someone turned around to you and said to you, you can't say such and such because it's this or such and such. Political correctness in the 90s or the noughties, mate, couldn't work because people just say, oh, fuck off, I'm not doing that. And the problem is now is you've got people that they buy into the marketing slogan. It's like, you know, the one thing I heard, people looking into the you know, the use of money in the world, or the people that look into the way the world is. They've cornered it into a fucking marketing slogan. Look at me, I am woke. Fucking woke. You've just like completely let the oxymoron your own fucking thing just by saying that. Because you're literally doing nothing about it. It's the fact of the matter is, mate, people do not know what to do. They don't even know how to fucking talk to each other. You know, we've worked on psychic lines, right? The amount of people that do not know how to actually have a relationship anymore without using this fucking thing. You know, oh, I'm gonna see if my fucking boyfriend's fucking gonna come out to dinner tonight. Are you gonna come out to dinner tonight? He's fucking sat over there. Use your fucking voice.
I know, but.
No, but
I know. That's one of the. That's the thing. I'm a little guilty of my mobile phone, but I am.
That's the problem. That's the thing that, you know, that you need to capture people's attention and capture people's imagination with this. You look at how the media does it, and the media does it in a very subversive way. They never give you the facts and say such and such and such and such. They give you a story. And in the story leads you to believe, because you're going to personally identify with the story. You can't identify with statistics that say, for example, such and such person suffers with, you know, a classic one. Classic seen on Sky News about 4 years ago. Such and such a person suffers with rheumatoid arthritis and has been cured. Rheumatoid arthritis, you know, fucking savage illness. And has been cured by basically sitting... having this fucking chip implanted in them. And you actually look at the study, they were the only person that actually had any success in it. And the media actually heralded that as the next fucking big thing. And the other people who had this chip implanted had fucking dreadful side effects. But I think what we are doing and what our work has done, and we are still growing. It's a growing channel. We're on 1,670 people now, and I think we're going to lead this up to the final point, which I don't know whether anyone's going to want to after watching this, if they've made it to the end. But we'll see, because this is the story that you guys might be becoming a part of. Okay. One of the things that we are looking to do in 2019 is open this up a lot more, so that perhaps take on some new investigators, perhaps do some free events where we just meet up with people, and we just do some investigating and sort of talk about these things. Maybe even start doing some sort of meetings, or there's been talk of doing different things that we are looking into doing in 2019. But I feel with what we are doing, this is why I think it's imperative that we get all this information together. We need to just have a look at sort of what the message is, and this is what I'll be doing with Brothers Between Worlds as well, because I think when you actually show that story, and the story of what we've been through and what we are living in, and we are doing that on as part of our story. So hopefully our story can kind of inspire other people. And that's the thing you mentioned about David Icke not giving solutions, but sometimes you just need to alert enough people that there's a problem. And you look at how many people would have been in that room 20 years ago. It'd probably be me, you, and my uncle, and maybe I'd have talked to one of the dogs. There was 1,000 people sat in that room.
There was tons of interesting points he made, but they are relevant and they were truthful and they were undeniable.
Yeah.
And they were. And my hat goes off to the guy, right, for really putting himself out there for all these years and trying to make people see that the things we think we know are nothing even remotely close to the truth, and it's all just fucking smoke and mirrors. And this has gone on for so long that it's so ingrained into the system that the people who are part of the system doesn't know it's a system. No. The people who run the show, I bet some of them don't even know it's a show. No. That's how ingrained this thing is. It's just become our reality, and we just accept it blindly. And it's not so much it wasn't a solution. It's just I'm looking for a solution.
We're going to wrap this up for now, and I think this now debate has this is where we are, guys. And are we going to continue with the videos and the channel?
Oh yeah, we're going to continue with them. We're going to start doing these now and getting them back into them and that. So yeah, we'll continue to do this stuff and try and get this information out there and show people the real paranormal and what we go through and tell our stories. And it's not always evidence. It's just mostly our opinion on it and our story of us going through it. But it is, we've never embellished anything. I was trying to tell the story of that case I was on about at the beginning of this video, and I was dumbing it down because I couldn't remember some of the bits of it, and it was still insane and beyond belief. But yeah, so is the world. You just got to see it. So,
well, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you soon in another video. Take care.
Take care, guys. Love and light.